We are nearing the transfer deadline. It is all happening. I tried to do a dramatic feature of the lighting, but it didn't work. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Football Therapy. Avec moi, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Thursday morning-ish, still 11, just gone 11 a.m. at time of recording. For context, things moving ever so quickly. Lots of plates spinning, of course, tomorrow evening, I believe. It's the evening, isn't it? The transfer window slammed shut. And Chelsea are trying to get rid of thousands of players, maybe sign a couple of high-profile players. Certainly, the big talking point is a centre-forward. And Victor Osimhen is the big story that Chelsea are continuing to chase, negotiate. There's a love triangle at the moment between Napoli, Al Ahly, and Chelsea Football Club. Who's going to win? Who's going to get the player? And who's going to make the right decision? One way or another. I'm going to reference something that Ben Jacobs has been talking about on the Londoners Blue podcast in regards to Victor Osimhen to Chelsea, who, by the way, remains Chelsea's priority target. He is the priority. I've been very clear on this. I think Chelsea have long been in a firm or a strong negotiating position because we just scored 6 goals away from home. We've got a good squad. We've got strikers. We've got a good striker in Jackson. We'd prefer a elite number 9, and we've got an alternative, apparently, in Ivan Toney and a couple of others, reportedly, from Osimhen. Excuse me. So that makes Chelsea in a pretty strong negotiating position, you'd have to say. Anyway, goalkeepers we're going to speak about going out the door, and Jadon Sancho and Victor Osimhen. That is the itinerary on this today's video. Why am I pressing all the wrong buttons? So thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting the content as always, liking and subscribing. How many subs are we on, by the way? Have we checked this recently, or should I say have I checked this? 188,000. So less than 2,000 off 190, which is a milestone. Let's see if we can get some more subs in the door. Come on, mate. You're all welcome. Subscribe and hit the bell. Alright, Nizar Kinsella of the BBC has reported that Chelsea goalkeeper Georgie Petrovic is set to join Strasbourg on loan. He will sign a new contract on improved terms. Pretty good, makes sense. This was been touted for a while. We also thought, well, I read that he was against this loan. I mean, he's just been Chelsea's first choice goalkeeper for 6 months. Strasbourg isn't such a... it's a bit underwhelming, but ultimately he came from MLS. He was like $14 million or something. He really didn't cost that much at all. He did very, very well. Obviously, he's not favoured for Maresca stylistically, which is fine. I haven't got an issue with that. I never thought Georgie Petrovic was going to be the Chelsea number 1 for a truly elite team. I just didn't see that coming. Or I didn't predict that. Strasbourg, hopefully they do quite well this season. Ultimately, he's going to be playing in Europe still. He's going to be signing. He's going to be getting more money from Chelsea. And it looks pretty good. That is an international loan spot, though. So this is a big deal for Chelsea. They see, this is developmental. And really, Strasbourg should be quite happy with that for a goalkeeper. Obviously, they've got Santos there as well, scoring. Winning man of the match already. He's just a bit of a superstar. Hopefully, he comes back and plays for Chelsea. And yeah, of course, you might have seen, is it Ziegler in the Times has written about how Chelsea will not be able to profit from selling assets to sister clubs. And how are Chelsea going to cope? Well, all we've sold so far to Strasbourg is Diego Moreira for €2 million, like £1.5 million. I don't think we're relying on Strasbourg to feed Chelsea loads of money to keep us financially sound. So don't worry about that, mate. Do you know what I mean? Alright, Georgie Petrovic to Strasbourg on loan. They've got a good team out there with the English gaffer at the helm. Quite interesting, really. Alright, so it wasn't a fever dream, gang. It really happened. Kepa Arrizabalaga has joined Bournemouth on a 1-year loan, a season-long loan, and he signed a 1-year extension with Chelsea, which is obviously he's not just finishing out his contract on loan at Bournemouth. He'll have 12 months after. Bournemouth, I guess, is a platform for Kepa to show he's good in the Premier League, and then hopefully Chelsea will make a few quid for him a few million. I do wonder, with this 12-month extension we've probably forced him to sign for, I imagine, aggressive tactics, if we like halved his wages, surely we've not given him the same wages because he's on mega money. Yeah, good luck to Kepa, bro. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, this is a loan. This is good because it's a Premier League loan. I know it's little old Bournemouth, but it's not an international loan spot. So, you know, Georgie Petrovic, who you're sort of banking your future development on in terms of his value, is worth more than Kepa. You use an international loan spot to Strasbourg for him. You loan Kepa domestically. A Premier League loan's great, even if it is Bournemouth. I mean, they've got Iraola, the manager, Basque manager. You know, isn't Kepa from the Basque country? Certainly Spanish internationals. Yeah, you know, good luck. Bournemouth have the most expensive goalkeeper of all time. Wow. Players flying out the door, goalkeepers leaving. That's what we need because we have loads of them. And there will be way more exits. We will do a confirmation of all the ins and outs when said window has slammed shut. And we'll go through a list together. We'll do an analysis of that. Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho. Romano says this. It's still the same. Jadon Sancho to Chelsea could only happen. So Chelsea like Sancho, but they're not targeting him to just buy him. It could only happen if Man United take a player from Chelsea who is out of the project, like Chilwell or Sterling, etc. United are still negotiating with Juventus. The player is open to go to Juve and Chelsea. We've also heard reports that he'd prefer to come to Chelsea than Juventus. Doesn't surprise me. Stay in the Prem, speaks English, is a Chelsea fan, you know, and it looks quite fun at Chelsea at the moment. It is. It looks quite fun. You know, and if somehow Chelsea say to him, yeah, mate, you can start on the left wing. You on the left, Noni on the right, Palmer and then Kunku between you. You know, go cook. Do you know what I mean? You might be playing behind Osimhen. Who knows? We'll speak about Osimhen in a moment. I don't know. Should we ever look at... I don't know. I'm just wondering if we should look at Jadon Sancho's X value. We haven't actually done that since he was linked. I wonder if I should just do it now, just so we can see what all the fuss is about. Because everyone knows what Jadon Sancho is, but maybe if we looked at the numbers a little bit more, that would be helpful. Let me just jump over now, set this up for you guys. So here he is, Jadon Sancho. Should we look at... I mean, wow, look at that freaking spider chart. His passes, assisting, and carries. His aerials literally do not exist. As you can see, his heat map there is left side. So he will be like... He could be a Raheem Sterling replacement in predominantly left side, can play on the right side, right? He's a one-to-one explorer almost exclusively. Wow, look at his key metrics by cluster. He's got some strong blue bars here, which actually is good. He open play crosses, fine. We won't be doing that many crosses. Cutbacks, very, very important to Maresca. Dribbles, very, very important to Maresca because he knows he loves Noni. He's literally nailed his colours to the Madueke mask and said he's the winger I like. Noni's pretty, and look, open 1-2s as well. To be honest, bro, like that is pretty sick. Let's look at his 1920 season. That is miles away. Look at the one just before he was cursed by Man United. Yeah, look at his combinational play again. Very strong polar chart. Understand? I mean, that is insane. That is literally maxed out winger stuff. Passes, assisting, shooting, carries, and then you just don't need them for recoveries and aerials. And as you can see on the heat map, both sides. That is insane. Advanced stats. Let's have a quick look here. Per 90. Okay, so, yeah, his goal scoring, not insane. His chance creation very high, as you can see here, and his progression, his progression is insane. His expected threat is in top 1% in Europe for wingers. His expected threat from passes, top 2%. Expected threat from carries, which is like dribbling, top 3%. I'll be interested to see this season before. Oh, there you go. Yeah, 90th percentile for goal scoring. He's got it in him, basically. I mean, that is 4 seasons ago now. So that's when he was a proper child. So look at his Man United. Look at this. Yeah. I mean, he's just that kind of profile of player. I understand why we're looking at him, you know, and Enzo Maresca said himself, he's a player he knows very well. if we sign Jadon Sancho, I'd like get it. Do you know what I mean? Especially looking at those stats. He's Sancho more than Mudryk. You'd understand why starting on the left. And if Raheem Sterling's gone, and Maresca's thinking, who am I going to start as a left? And because he's already said the wingers that I like are essentially Noni Madueke, no, he's not going to play. Nkunku was completely null and void out wide. Even Cole Palmer wasn't that great out wide, who can do it. So, yeah, you're going to want someone like Jadon Sancho, like wingery wingers, Wingery wingers. So it kind of like, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Yeah, wild. All right, let me know what you think about Jadon Sancho. Let's talk about Osimhen then. Alright mate, so this is a huge story. Of course, a quick reminder, Osimhen is a Scudetto winning African Player of the Year, winning top 10 Ballon d'Or, 25-year-old centre forward. He's a proper centre forward, he's a number 9, he's mobile, he can, despite being strong in the air and strong generally, he's really mobile, great movement in the area, can score like pretty blockbuster goals. And he's just like a great centre-forward number 9. He's 25. He's loved Chelsea growing up, and it all makes sense. So let's try and stay away from it. He's not like Lukaku. Lukaku's more transitional than Osimhen. Osimhen can stay in the box, basically, and float around. Lukaku wants to run towards the opposition third on the right channel. So they are different. They both did well in Italy, but they are very, very different. And Osimhen, profile-wise, should do better in the Premier League, in theory. Alright, so the money involved to sign Osimhen on a permanent is a great deal at the moment. It's been in such a scenario where he's not going to feature for Napoli. Conte's not been planning for him. Conte's been planning for Lukaku. Lukaku's going to go to Napoli. He's not going to play there. So he's got two. PSG have withdrawn. He's not going to go to PSG. Osimhen is either going to sign for Chelsea Football Club or Al Ahly. One of those two. And either club, the Saudi club or the London club in Chelsea, will get a good deal in transfer fee. It's been, again, I'm referencing a lot what Ben Jacobs said on the London is Blue podcast. Like the release clause has been halved. He's literally half price. 65 million from 130. And in isolation, that is an insanely good deal, to the point where I just don't know why Arsenal aren't going in for him. If they're going to pay more than that for, Kai Havertz from Chelsea and pay high wages for all their starters, why wouldn't, it makes you think, he's great. He's great, Osimhen. So he's not like a fraud or anything. So the transfer fee will be fine. Now, of course, the money I reflected yesterday, the money that Saudi will pay is just straight up insane. They'll pay him loads of money, and if he stays for 2 years or more, it'll be tax-free. So I don't think he necessarily wants to go to Saudi, but the money might be talking in that sense. Now, he doesn't. What the big thing is here, there's two things that Fabrizio Romano kept saying. He doesn't want to lower his wages, and he doesn't want to go on loan. Well, the loan thing I think is now fine, because the transfer fee is so lowered that the acquisition, in terms of an asset, isn't that huge an outlay, except for wages. Now, Ben Jacobs has been saying that Chelsea will pay his wage demands, and his wage demands are essentially the same as what his new Napoli contract is. So remember, Napoli gave him an extension with the plan to sell him. They didn't give him this extension on higher wages to keep and have him, because they don't want to pay those wages. Those wages are too high for Napoli. They gave him the extension knowing that he's going to be sold, and they're like, look, you get a year or 6 months of these high wages. Whoever buys you have to pay these high wages. It works out for you, right? In theory. Although we don't know that yet, right? So obviously he goes to Saudi, he'll double his money, but he doesn't want to go less. As a 25-year-old, he doesn't want to lower his wages. So Chelsea, says Ben Jacobs, they're saying to him, you can have your wages, you can have a structure where you can earn that money, but it has to be on our terms, right? So let's just say, for the sake of it, it's 300k a week, right? It's like Raheem Sterling money. So Raheem Sterling is on 325k a week, but just flat. He gets paid that no matter what. He can do whatever and gets paid that. Chelsea were saying to Osimhen, yeah, you can have 300k a week, even though, our superstar and Premier League superstar Cole Palmer has just had a pay rise into 120k a week. That's his pay rise. He was nearly doubling his money there. But we're going to give you 300k a week, but not basic. You can earn that, and from a multitude of incentive-based clauses and bonuses. Firstly, as well, he needs to accept that whatever it is, it's a quarter off immediately because we're not in the Champions League. If Chelsea are in the Champions League, you get that full base, an increased base, and that is for all Chelsea players. It's already there. All of them, except for Raheem Sterling, because he signed the contract before all of these incentives. But the sporting directors brought that in for the Chelsea players. If you're not in the Champions League, you get 25% pay cut. Flat. That's just non-negotiable. But with Osimhen, they're offering him such a unique structure. And again, I'm going to guess here and speculate, guesstimate. Right, if you score more than 20 Premier League goals, you get this massive bonus. If you obviously qualify for the Champions League, you get this percentage increase. If you score maybe in finals, do you know what I mean? Like that. If your defensive metrics as a striker, if you're not just goal hanging, if you make X amount of clearances from corners, and you're generally there's probably a way of quantifying his general effort and defensive performances, and in training and stuff like that. I wonder if there's a real complex system that says, look, if you reach all these and you're like the guy for Chelsea and you make the difference, you will earn your wages and you will get those wages. Which, to be fair, I totally sign off on and endorse, and that kind of makes sense to me. So at time of recording, where we stand, that is where we are. Stories are developing all the time. Just checked now, Stuttgart are looking at a loan deal for Trevoh Chalobah. Looks increasingly likely it will be a loan if he leaves. Trevoh, I think Stuttgart would be great, by the way. Champions League club in Germany. Finished second last season. Really, really good under Sebastian Hoeneß. That would be interesting. Of course, I will cover all stories as they develop here on the channel, so do keep it locked. Thank you for liking and commenting. If you choose to subscribe, hit the bell, of course. Road to 200,000 subscribers this season, which is incredible. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you back here very soon. Peace.